republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're gonna need 2 more chairs. One.
You got it. Just in case. You want me to plan ahead?
Sure. All right. Call to order the regular meeting of the Romeo Downtown Development Authority for Wednesday, June 6, 2018 at 7 p.m.
Rex, get out of there.
Lisa, can we do a roll call?
Yes. Seidel?
Yes.
You won't be.
Humphries?
Yes.
Siglo?
Come here.
Brandt?
Sit.
Chaika? Hayes?
Here.
Poznanski? Kraft?
Yeah.
Parker?
Yeah.
We have a quorum.
Thank you,
You didn't call
Lisa.
Rex's name.
Rex?
First up, public forum. Kelly, do you want to?
You want me to talk now?
Sure.
Okay. In here tonight with an update on the status of the farmer's market. I know when I first came to you guys, I had talked about doing this on a weekly basis. Not having run a farmer's market in the past, I quickly learned we were quite behind the 8 ball in timing for securing vendors. So I reached out to Lauren, who had run the farmer's market in the past, to see if she would be interested in collaborating with us. And the only way she would collaborate with us is if we are willing to pay her. I then explained to her that, you know, we weren't paying anybody, but if you wanted to sell your goods. So she declined. So right now what I have for vendors is I have a garlic, Jim Salvatore, the garlic man, the bread lady Sandra, I have Matt, the pasty gentleman, I have 2 meat businesses, and a honey lady. So the committee had collaborated and said, okay, so we don't want to have a flop with, so what if we move to once a month? June 16th we were looking at, July the 14th, August the 18th, and Labor Day weekend, and then October 13th. Just to see if we can get some momentum going here and really start pounding the pavement. What I found out are people are working on their farmers markets from November till February. They're lining their people up. This is how when they're doing their timing on securing vendors. So I'm open to your thoughts. I had mentioned something, Lisa wrote a grant that Bill had directed her through and wondered if we did secure that grant, could monies be used to perhaps secure a market master? And a market master in Michigan is a certified, through the state of Michigan, person that helps you run your markets. They go out and secure vendors for you and that. So that's just a thought on my part. Or you guys just want to turn it totally over back to Lauren, let her collect the monies and be done.
Well, would it be too late in the season for her to kick off at this point?
I don't know, because she wasn't going to start until this past Saturday anyways, too. So I'm not sure.
We'll start meaning have the market open, not
market
start
open.
finding
No,
vendors,
right.
right?
Right.
So right now she hasn't put any time in finding vendors.
She had a group of vendors that did work with her there, but out of that group, these people that I have secured were part of her vendor group.
So are people kind of holding out because they're not happy with the change, or they'll join her?
I don't know. I don't know. What I really think was the problem is we started too late. When going out and talking to these people that do multiple markets in a week, they're committed to these other markets already. So
Just worried that the frequency of once a month isn't like just from attracting people to. Are they just going to stumble upon it by chance? I think most people get used to seeing it week after week and kind of plan their Saturday around it if they're regulars and they're.
I don't disagree, but the other thing is really opening the market with 4 people doesn't make sense either.
But my question is, if you do it once a month, are you going to get any more than 4? If they're already committed, then they're committed. Right? If they're locked into a contract with a.
Right.
So I don't know
See if Lauren wants to do it.
You want me to see?
I'm fine if she can.
We can't be any worse off than we are.
Is that a motion? I guess.
Well, we can't make. I mean,
Can't
it's
make a
not
motion
ours.
of
somebody's right
else. I think.
Well, we're
if-
part of it, aren't we?
Okay, my question to that is, the reason when this came up, and I was there at the council meeting for this on a vote, she had not filled out any paperwork.
Right, you told us that.
And so, the only thing I'd ask is that she go through the channels and fill out the paperwork to,
Right, because you don't want to just transfer it
Right.
over to, that's
How
not, you were,
many vendors do we anticipate?
no, go ahead.
we were hoping to, secure 10, at least at a minimum. I don't believe she had more than 10 vendors, but that was a mix of crafters in there too, not all farmers. Our big drawback is the vegetables and some plant people, so.
And we have 4 right now,
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
right?
Would they do once a week, or they don't want to do once a week?
These people that I've talked to
Yeah.
have agreed to do it once a month.
But they
this-
won't do it once a week. Or
I'm not
honestly,
sure,
yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'd rather see it every week.
Okay, I
Regardless,
understand
I'd
that.
rather see, I mean, that's, obviously it has to go to the other group, but
Right.
I would rather, I think once a month you're going to be, it's gonna be hit or miss and people might stumble upon it. They'll come back next week and nobody's gonna be there to tell them, well, it's in another 3 weeks,
Well,
So I think to Bill's
when
point.
they come back.
pardon me?
I think to Bill's point,
Just
if we
reach
let
back out
Lauren
to
see if
Lauren.
she can do it once, I agree with Zach and I agree with Bill. If
Okay,
Lauren
so,
wants to pick it up and try to run with it, but it would almost have to be a weekly thing, I think, for it to even,
Well, I'm saying even with these
Getting
6
traction.
vendors though, these 6 vendors that you're operating with, if we can, if you can do it with them.
Start with 6 and see
Start
if
with
they'll
6,
track more.
yeah.
but they're only locked in once a month.
I know, but that's why, that's
Yeah.
a
If you're
conversation
wasting
that they
your
have
time
to
on
have
what's
with
in
vendors.
That's
Just-
like 4 times
no,
you're done.
what I need to see is if these 6 are available on a weekly basis. If they're not available on a weekly basis, then,
Yeah.
If she can bring in crafters, Lauren had a bunch of people there last year. I don't care if they're selling whatever it is that they're selling. I don't care if Kathy wants to send these people from where she's got her tent over there and put up a booth and say, oh, by the way, we've got hundreds of more things in the store. That's,
that's really not a farmer's market though.
I know that, but
Okay.
it's,
Flea farmer's
Right.
market.
Pardon me?
It's a flea farmer's
Yes,
market.
yes.
I think even though by the time you talk to Lauren, have her wrangle up vendors, get everything set up with the village, now you're talking what? Mid-July, beginning of August before they even have,
Why do you have to wait that long?
why does who have to wait that long? Why does, because I mean, how long, if we couldn't wrangle up vendors, we got 6 vendors, is she gonna be able to come with more when it's already this late in the
Right,
season?
I
They're
know.
gonna be committed already.
Mhm.
I'm sure they're out, if they're regulars at farmers markets, they're probably gonna be out doing other things or be committed to other. I'd like to see it work with the 6 vendors you have now at once a week,
Leveraging Lauren.
every Saturday, without leveraging one. See if we can make it work with the 6 that we have and start
Okay,
in
the only thing I
November.
can do is call these people.
Right.
And see if they're not committed.
Right.
So do you want me to do that first, or do you want me to reach out to Lauren and just hand it over to Lauren?
I'd like you to, I mean, personally, I think it'd be better to reach out to them first and see if
Okay.
they'd be willing to commit to that. Because I think the consistency every week is what
Mhm.
we need if we're gonna, and then start in November to get
Right, I know.
to get prepared for next year. And then hopefully we have, because you give it up now, you're never getting it back. You know what I mean?
Do the other vendors know how many vendors are gonna be there? Did we tell them that, or?
We didn't tell, they didn't really ask me how many vendors were there. I think they're assuming because they've been in the park before, that it was going to be the same size. We're talking farmer's market, guys. We had some issues attracting enough vendors to do it on a weekly basis, so I was proposing monthly, but I don't think the group is open to that because you lose your momentum. But we were behind the 8 ball coming in to get it going, so that's been the dilemma with securing vendors.
So that Kelly doesn't have to come back in front of us, so. if
I'll
she reaches
email you
out-
guys.
If she reaches out to those 6 and they all say they're in weekly, we say go ahead. If you
I'll
reach
let you
out to
guys
those
know.
6 and only one of them's in weekly, go leverage Lauren and see what you can do.
At the end of the day, it's really, it's not our decision. That,
Right.
we can't make that decision.
No, but I mean, is that-
We can make the recommendation.
She would still have to go before the council for
Yeah.
her,
But I mean, I guess
no?
that's,
Why?
Well, I had to.
You have to get permission to use the park.
Special permit to use the park. No, you don't?
I don't know.
I would
did.
imagine so.
Yeah.
They have.
Okay, and one other thing in that packet is the logo ideas. And I chopped off the top, but most of the group felt like the top one was what they liked for the new market.
Yeah, I like the first two there, the top two, and whatever
Here's a
you
barn at the top
guys
of
decide to do
It's
logo
on-
wise.
You look at this one, the full up
See, you
is on
can
this.
see the barn
Oh,
in there.
okay.
Or here, I can
Yeah,
pass it over to you
yeah.
guys. And then in that packet was the letter we had sent out to secure vendors. We put together an application and we put together some rules for the park.
So what, can I ask what the $500 that we contributed is gone to so far?
We haven't spent a dime.
It hasn't been spent at all, okay.
Well, we did have to pay the state of Michigan to get legal,
Okay.
so that was $100.
But you guys
Split
did
two
500,
ways.
we did
Yeah,
500.
And
MRP
actually,
did
MRP
500.
did 500
Okay, so it's a
also.
three-way.
Yeah,
so we're all up $33.
yes. Okay, then I'm here on another mission. The dumpster in my quadrant needs to be moved. It reeks, it stinks like, and it's unbelievable the smell you're getting in my backyard.
Lisa, did we get anywhere with the people?
I talked to the manager of the gas station, the owner he's more than willing to do that. He just wants to know if there's gotta be, we gotta find out if there's gonna be any cost to him, if the DEA is gonna pay it all, how it's gonna work.
Cost to do what? Put it somewhere
Put a
else?
dumpster corral up.
Well, you don't want a corral, you want it moved.
I don't care.
Because a corral doesn't stop it from smelling, it just stops it from looking.
Well, that's not
From
the,
where?
that
Where do you
dumpster
live?
is,
It's where the chamber office is, the barn at Lafayette in there. Yeah, it's that one, I was telling Bill, it's unbelievable, the people that use that thing.
Kelly, whose dumpster is it?
Bill's, I think.
No,
Bushimi's?
yeah.
Bushimi's.
So,
About a lock.
well,
What do you guys do?
I locked mine.
Ted, what goes on in yours?
Say a little bit of everything. But I mean, they're throwing raw stuff in there and it will.
Well, so are they over
No, I mean,
Bushimi's.
how do you, does each restaurant have a key to get in there or what?
No,
Yours is emptied every day, right?
no, not every day, no.
is that a DDA thing? Yeah.
But here's my beef. Theirs is in the middle of the parking lot, and you're not having every Joe come up and dump their garbage in that thing. This thing's hidden over in the corner. On hourly basis, people are coming there and dumping it, and when it's full, they just put their crap on the ground.
That doesn't stop them, lock doesn't stop them, they just set it on top, trust me.
I just want it moved.
We can't, that's nothing we can do, right?
Yeah, if we're gonna get the gas station people to do it, there has to be some inducement. And if we're gonna spend, how much is 30 feet of stockade fencing gonna cost? To buy and put up? Just to shield it?
Okay, let's say that costs $4,000.
We're
Can't,
not
Throw it
gonna,
over, they're gonna throw it over the fence.
What's it do? It doesn't fix any of your issues, it just makes it look
No,
like
I just want
cyclone
it
fence.
moved.
Yeah, you
But-
want it
You
moved.
want to move by the BP station,
Right.
away from the barn.
Lisa,
We use it
did you
from
get any
PF.
feeling that they had any quote-unquote feeling about this or what?
That, no.
It's not gonna cost them anything, tell Roy to tell Jim to move the bloody dumpsters over there and,
I don't know if they would be willing for that or not.
that
That's,
Roy's
I haven't
property?
approached him, I told him, we were talking about a
Okay.
dumpster enclosure and moving everything over there, So I approached him with the enclosure, didn't,
Okay, if this
told
is
him they
Roy's
would all
dump,
go in there, but it would be after an enclosure was put
It's
up.
also partially mine and you use it too.
well, not that often.
I know. that.
Okay, yeah.
It's the whole block uses
Oh,
essentially.
you dump it.
Pardon?
How often do you dump it?
They're supposed to be dumping it twice a week,
Where do you suggest where do you want to move to?
behind the gas station.
So
That
can,
doesn't
for,
eliminate
for
the
now,
door, it's gonna
for
be-
now, can we go to
It's
Roy
right-
and the owner of the gas station and say,
It's,
Roy,
this is her
can we
property.
move your dumpster?
Buscemi's is right here.
We don't need a
The
corral
dumpsters are
at
right
this
there.
point.
Right, I know.
And they have a lot of.
If
Well, here's my
it's an
thing to
issue,
this,
and
the way that
smell
dumpster's
wafting in there
hidden
sucks.
is why people pull
Well,
up to
you know
that.
what, when I'm sitting there, I see people pull up to the BP one and just put stuff in it. They pull up to mine, they put stuff in it. They just think it's public property and it doesn't matter.
Well,
But that's not Kelly's, what she's talking about. She
I
just
know,
wants
it's
the damn
the
stench
smell.
out.
It's the smell of the raw food that's going into
Yeah,
that
so,
thing.
So,
see if you can get Roy to.
To bag it up.
Neat.
No, that's Roy to bag it up.
I don't know what they're dumping in it, but it stinks.
Well, anything's gonna smell in 90 degrees.
It's probably the pizza guy that works in there.
No, it's coming from the Thai restaurant. It's coming from the Four Corners Diner.
they're all
Uh,
dumping in the same,
They're all dumping in the same two dumpsters.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
There's two dumpsters there,
yeah.
and
Yeah, so-
three, four.
Four
There are
restaurants.
4 food establishments. There's the barbecue place. There's Roy,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean Roy has probably got the least
I
offensive
would
of
say probably so.
all of the people
It's a
there.
barbecue,
But once
pork.
it's after it sits there in the sun for 4 days,
Right.
it smells like
Dead body.
Yeah.
not that good.
So,
first, my thought is, first is ask Roy if he's willing to move it, and BP's okay with putting it there, and then, since we talked about dumpster corrals in the budget, when we had our budget meeting, we get a subcommittee together, you get that put in place, but, I mean, that's gonna take time. If it's a quick solution of just moving it,
How much?
BP's okay with it.
How? My God! If we're talking about 2 10-foot sections,
But is that what you wanna do, or do you want something that looks nice and consistent, like what the?
we're not going to spend $60,000. That was
well,
ridiculous.
that was,
But
but
I mean,
you
that's
have to have
insane.
a- I mean, you have to have a plan for some consistency,
I'm
right?
saying legitimately in the townships you can get away if you've got a stockade fencing around it. You're covered, okay?
step one, see if they'll put them together behind the BP station. If
And
they
then,
agree
and
to do
I
that,
am positive they will.
Then if they agree to do that, then we can come and we can visit, put a stockade around it. Because even if that costs us $2,500 and we put it aside for a year and a half and then we decide to put,
Right, it's a
You
Brick
still
and
have to
mortar,
get the
temporary
restaurants to bag
solution.
their stuff up, though.
Right.
You're still gonna get the smell.
Yeah,
but
but-
it's not in anybody's backyard, it's in the middle of the
It's not in the
property.
resident area.
Well, it's not really a resident area. It's
business
because
there.
there's events there on a regular basis that anybody going.
Don't you
to-
have residents upstairs?
Yeah, that's
Still
Yeah,
a
but they don't
resident
smell
area.
it.
my point.
They can't possibly smell it, Carol.
You
it's-
open up your bedroom window at night to get a cool breeze, guess what you're gonna get?
Okay,
I got a suggestion.
sure.
You said you have 5 restaurants. Why don't there somebody go and approach all 5 restaurants and say, we're gonna have a dumpster guy come every day. Do the math, this is what it's gonna cost you. Otherwise, the place is gonna smell like something's dead every day.
But see, they don't care because it's away from their venues. So-
Not if you move it towards.
Yeah, they're gonna care, because we can have somebody start filing a complaint every single day with the village. I'm sure there's some blonde-haired lady who can go in there and be a pain in someone's,
I don't want to be a pain in anybody. That
oh,
just-
bull.
I don't think he was talking.
God, you're a pain in mine, give me a break.
So the first step is just reaching out to Roy and reaching out to the owner of BP.
Roy will move it, I will speak for him
So this
on
is in
that.
Bill,
I
all
have
is in
talked to
Who
him
needs
about
to
this
ask him?
till
Who
I'm
needs to
sick
ask
to
him?
death of talking to
Bill's
him
going
about
to
this damn thing. Yes, they're willing to move them, and Roy kind of controls the other one, because those are his tenants.
What about BP?
Now, I don't know who owns the business, the building right in the barbecue place is the only oddball one.
They own that, I think
They, I
bought
don't
that.
think they did they buy that
They
from
don't own
Richard?
that. Richard still owns it.
Richard still owns
Okay,
it.
I thought they bought that in the house in front of
But
it.
they pay for dumpster service.
For who?
No, they
I
don't.
mean, if they're, okay, maybe they're not, but they're paying somebody.
No.
No,
Not
they're just putting it in a
necessarily.
dumpster and not
Yeah.
asking anybody?
Maybe they're just putting it out on the garbage every week.
They're there on a daily basis.
Who is?
The
They're-
restaurants. The
they're-
restaurants are dumping in there every day.
But I think to Ted's point, get them all going together and see what they'll do to pay to get it more
They
frequent
have
and get it in.
grease trap in there too.
We gotta talk to the
Grease
VP
traps
guy.
behind.
They do have grease traps in there.
Lisa's,
Lisa did.
Lisa's talking to them.
I talked to the manager, it's not the owner, but I've talked to the manager. The manager's talked to the owner, and the owner seems receptive to the idea.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I've talked to the owner before.
Have you talked to the owner? I don't even know who the owner is.
Also-
Well, we can't just, until we've got an affirmative, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. We can't tell Jim to move the bloody dumpsters over there. So we've got to get an affirmative, yeah, let's get it there.
So that
Yeah.
would start with you, Bill, with, Roy?
No, it starts with Lisa talking to the and getting an affirmative,
That
yes,
they can go
we're,
there.
we're good with it. And if that doesn't work, I think Ted's right, that stuff has got to be picked up.
There you go.
At least every other day.
Through the summer, at least.
And if we
Because
have
that's
to
5
go.
restaurants dumping in two.
The one did have a lock.
I don't think it does anymore.
And
does it?
I think it's been busted off, and that's,
I lock mine. And
it
people
doesn't-
They just set it out.
they set, you go out there and there's beds, there's chairs, there's, the people lay
Mattresses.
their garbage there on the
I had a bag of
ground.
I had a bag of raccoons, so it doesn't.
Then people don't, they assume that the dumpster people literally, they're not paid to get out of their truck and pick the garbage up. They're paid to back up, hook on, dump it, and drive away.
Right.
And they don't get out of their trucks to do it. They're not paid for it.
All right, you're gonna follow up on.
I'll talk,
You're gonna follow
I'm
up on
gonna talk to
DP.
them.
You think Roy's already good?
I know he's good.
Get him collected, then we can bring it back as far as stockade.
Lisa and I can deal with this.
Okay.
Just
Perfect.
get in touch with me and we can go talk to Roy and get this settled. But it's,
Then I'll
One way or
email you
another, we
guys
either-
with what I found out about these vendors and where we're at with that.
it's kind of like we need a minimum of 3 times a week to get all that crap out of there. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
It'll
Yep,
be okay.
yep.
It
I agree.
cannot go, because it's just
How
insane.
much does it cost you?
Who's the,
It's
who picks
expensive.
them up, do you know?
Uh,
Busy Bee?
That's what I'm saying.
Waste management.
Busy Bee has got the big
Busy Bee's
one,
still got
Busy
and
Bee.
I don't know who's got the little one.
I don't know either.
That's the Republic. It's the blue, I think it's Republic.
Yes.
I mean, they could get down to one dumpster if they're picking it up.
And Jim will work with you.
I agree with you. I think it may,
He'll work with you. He'll give you a better price if he's doing it every day than, and if you get rid of the other one, he'll do. But
why do you
that's
have-
not us, so.
Okay, why do you have 2 companies?
they're two
I don't have
different people
anything to
paying.
do with this. It's on my property, okay?
Okay, well,
I just let Richard do it 20 years ago
okay.
because he wanted to expand and the village says, well, where are you gonna put your dumpsters? And he says, hey, can I put my dumpsters there? And it, it didn't bother me. But there weren't, 4 restaurants there are now 3 restaurants that didn't exist 20 years ago there. And that's, a defect in the village zoning ordinance, which I've brought up too many times.
Okay.
This is the only community in
You get to
in
go home
the
now, right?
world. You can go home,
No,
Kelly.
we
You're out
actually
of here.
started the meeting.
Thanks a lot.
I would think that
Pardon
the restaurants over in that strip they'd have a dumpster in that parking lot on the east side.
What are those dumpster things behind their buildings on
Those are
Bailey
grease
Street?
traps.
Okay,
Those are really gross.
I know.
I don't even think there's,
Or the walkway be quicker for them to walk that way.
Actually, it's not a bad idea, but.
Put in the
Say,
community
hey,
parking
guys.
lot.
Put it in the
Put it
community
in-
parking lot.
Boy, won't that look beautiful?
Well, nobody uses it.
You think it's ugly now?
No, but.
all right, are we good to move on?
Okay, thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Kelly.
Yep.
Appreciate it. All right, we need an approval of the agenda. Yeah, exactly. We need an approval of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, approval of the minutes for the May 2nd, 2018 regular meeting and the May 16th, 2018-2019 budget workshop minutes.
Are we doing them both?
Yeah, we
I'll
can,
make a motion to approve them both.
I have a motion by Seidel to approve,
Second.
second by Humphreys, all in favor? Aye. All right, next we have the treasurer's report from Carol Humphreys.
Okay, we currently have $98,090.46 in liquid money, liquid assets, and we have revenue due us of $116,581.63. We collected taxes of $176,586 to date this year. And the checks that we need approved for this month is payroll checks, payroll taxes, the money that we gave for startup costs for the village market, our portion, the watering contract payment, and I had neglected to pay for the flowers that were so beautifully put up throughout the town, and the gentleman from Vans Valley reminded me that I needed to pay him $15,000.
You didn't just let it slide?
No, I tried, guys. And so that's on there, and then a reimbursement for petty cash for cards, stamps, and window art that was done for the holidays. And then the first bank card, which I spelled wrong, to cover the cost of topsoil, the serve luncheon, and the items for the banner reveal.
Topsoil for what?
The corner of Rawls and West Lafayette.
They had to build it up.
Yeah, we had to put more in there so that there was something in there that would hold water so the flowers would actually live.
Oh.
Because,
Instead of clay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then there were 2 phone bills, so the total comes to $21,372.38. So that's what we need to pay.
Do we have an ETA on that 34,000 from the village?
That is our consent judgment.
No, I
I think
know what
that's
it is.
3 years still coming. We usually get paid in October for that.
11.
We've already
Oh,
got
you-
it. 11,500.
What was, no, okay, no, I guess I thought it was the 34,000 that we're supposed to get for the Mussey Street.
Oh,
sale.
no,
Is
no, no,
that-
I have, that's bonus money if it ever comes.
What if? When?
But shouldn't we,
We have not gotten an answer on that, nor have we gotten an answer. The village owes us our TIF for $80,000 for this year, and normally we just
do
exchange
the check
checks,
exchange?
and that, I haven't gotten an answer on that as to when that'll happen. It should happen before June 30th.
But that money for the sale of the property, that's something that was,
That's
I
all
don't
right.
know if
Promised
it's,
to us, but we've not gotten anything.
but is there anything in that consent judgment that outlines a timeline for that, when we're supposed to be
No,
receiving
in
it?
fact, I don't believe it's in the consent judgment at all. I think it was in one of the resolutions that they had at one of the village council meetings.
But it should still
A
be
couple
in
of
our-
years ago.
It should
Okay,
show up on
gotcha.
our sheet somewhere, because it's been sold and closed, right?
Right, but we have,
Okay.
it has not come forth.
They sent out an email, did you get a response on that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Michael came in here earlier before the meeting started, and when I was going through the paperwork yesterday to do the calculations for the TIF property tax reimbursement from the state of Michigan yesterday, because that's due on June 15th, I discovered that the millage rate had changed in 2016 and 2017. It had been lowered, and so I questioned him why after 20-some years it was at 1.9783 forever, and then all of a sudden it dropped 2 different rates. And what he explained to Zach and I earlier was that the Macomb County actually changed the rate because they said we were overpaid in a prior year, that the assessment amount, the taxable rate that they paid us was too high, and it was easier to adjust the millage rate than to refund money back to the taxpayers and then keep it at the higher rate. So what they did was they did it at a lower rate, so the taxpayer actually paid a lower rate, and that's why the millage, but as of for 18, it'll go back to the 1.9783.
The cost of
Right?
mailing out.
That's what
Yeah,
he's
so
talking
there,
about.
it's just,
$1
And it has
charge.
something to do with the Hadley Act amendment.
Headley, there's a Headley
Headley,
limitation.
yes.
Yeah, there's, you're getting into the cost of making $1 or a 40-cent refund. You're getting into a couple bucks a piece. It just doesn't make sense.
Right, so they opted for changing the rate.
Okay.
But,
On the Mosey Street property,
being a taxpayer that pays that tax, I just didn't even notice it, I just paid the tax.
on the Mosey Street property, regardless of whether you're making a promise, promise is just a
I
promise.
think it was a resolution though,
Yeah, it was.
I think it was a
documented
resolution.
Resolution,
it's about 2 years ago,
yeah, at least 2 years ago.
that when that property
A
sold.
resolution that's been made, and we're gonna do this in the future, probably has all of the validity of skywriting these days.
Anyway, we have
Tested it doesn't come our way.
any questions as regards to payments?
I'm assuming those telephone bills, there's two of them, just one, they,
Just
just
the-
where they fell?
Yeah,
Okay. All right,
Is it the same every month? I mean, it's,
basically, it changes a few pennies.
whether it's 30 days or 31 days or whatever.
all right, do we,
It's 6 cents difference.
do we have a motion to,
Pay the bill.
pay the bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Seidel, do we have a second? I'll second. Second by Hayes, all in favor? We need to do a roll.
Sidle,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Chaika,
Yes.
Kraft, Parker,
Yeah.
Humphreys.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the next thing is, I was mentioning that I was doing the paperwork to get the state money, and we should, based on the calculations that came up last night, get around 13,000. But until we see the money, I never put it in the budget. We can figure that as extra money if it does come through.
Personal property
It's-
refund, isn't it?
Oh,
So then that brings us to our budget. I had to make a slight adjustment.
Do we want to
because-
wait until the,
yeah, let's
New
we get to the
business?
budget?
Okay.
Yeah, let's-
Yeah, at least
we'll cover
it's a
that.
deal. And
Okay, so give me a break.
Thanks,
gives
Carol.
us a break.
All right, next we have Lisa Hall with the DDA Director's Report.
Half of it, I spoke with the gas station manager about the dumpster corral. I talked with Zach Williams from Delco about doing the dirt in the corner where we were just talking about. He wanted $650 to take part of the dirt out and put new dirt in. So I talked with Ray. Ray advised just getting some bags of like some Miracle Grow, ground soil, and working it in there. So that's what I opted for instead of the $650. I had someone help me because my shoulder was messed up and I wasn't able to dig it in. Talked to Kelly Carson, got the STERB students out. We got all the flowers planted in the ground. Took them to lunch. We weeded the North Bailey Street parking lot. You can't tell it now because the weeds are growing like crazy. I talked with Zach from Delco. He is going to be doing the mulch. Unique Clips did back out of their part of the agreement, so we won't be getting the mulch for free. He's going to give us 15 yards of mulch for $450. He's still going to do the labor for free though. he's supposed to be doing it sometime this week. I
Is that
talked,
including installation? Is that
Yes.
why it's
He's giving us-
$30
yeah.
a yard?
well, it's gonna be $450 for 15
It's
yards.
$30 a yard.
Right, but he's giving
That's-
us the installation for
that's
free.
But,
30
but
bucks.
that's including
That
installation.
includes installation.
Yeah,
Right.
30 bucks is pretty reasonable.
It's cheap.
Well, but that's
It's
delivery,
50.
it's delivery and
Well, you buy
installation.
50, yeah, you get a cheap price.
Well, you gotta buy quantity.
Well,
we don't-
most of us don't need 50 yards of mulch.
Lisa, we need, do we need a motion to just authorize the 450, or is it covered somewhere?
It's already spent.
It's already,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, my understanding, I mean, Carol and I have talked about this and we can, you know, with things like this, isn't it up to $1,500?
Okay.
It doesn't actually need a motion
Good.
for things
But
like that.
It needs. his
Yes,
approval.
yes,
Okay.
and he said, okay, all right, yes. No, I don't
No, I just
do
say,
anything
it
without his
doesn't need a
approval.
motion, but it needs.
Approval.
I do
Exactly.
nothing,
She
I
runs
do
it by
nothing
me.
without, yes, I
She
do
runs it
nothing
by
without
me.
running it by him. Talked to the DPW, got 8 banners moved so we can hang flowers, and as you can see, the flowers are in town. Hopefully everybody likes them.
Yeah, no, it looks cool with the
was a
banners and
little-
the flowers, everything looks
Was a little
nice.
creative trying to get them all hung with all the banners, but they're up. DTE has contacted me, they want to set up a meeting there and come out and talk to me about what it is they want to do with the poles. I've talked with Kat about Haunted Romeo and did some stuff on harvest days. So we have flowers and banners moved and everybody seems to be pretty happy with the flowers.
What's the wine tasting? Oh, at Harvest Days of wine tasting?
We're talking about, Megan had said something about she'd like to do a wine tasting at the Masonic with like local wines. So I've been talking with Kevin a little bit about trying to get something, you know,
Would you get the village winery involved with that?
that's what, you know, we've got to see what we can do.
How many different local wines are there? Just the-
Well, there's Miller's, there's Westview.
Oh, okay, I see.
Youngblood should have a pressing this year. I don't know exactly.
Local doesn't mean within 5 miles, right? It
No.
just means not from, right,
Right.
Lakes and Westview and.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get.
There's a surprising number of wineries within the area.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of fundraisers that have been through that down at Palos Grande where they bring in, and they're all quote unquote local. Look at the kid at the Village Winery, there's a list of all of these places,
There's a lot of them.
and there's a lot of them. It's,
Time for a wine.
So I'm,
Go.
All right, thanks, Lisa.
yep.
Next, we have new business. Carol, you're up with the 2018-2019 budget.
The one that's sideways is the budget.
It's not good to start out with our budget sideways.
Well, it's so that it was bigger print. Yeah, they complained they couldn't read it. So I printed it sideways, made it bigger. Anyway, these are the first 2 columns are the prior year and the current year's budget as approved with Village Council. And then the last column will be the one for this year. The only adjustment I made to the one that we did at our workshop was I had to add in an extra $15,000 for flowers because I had forgot that in the calculation. And I took that money from the implementation, from Blueprint Projects. So it got lowered from 80-some thousand down to 65.
See, that's where we put the extra, so you,
Right, so I had to take it away.
so you didn't peel it from 15 other things to
No,
get
no. So, basically, this is what we came up with. We had a short discussion before the meeting about harvest days. We didn't put anything in the budget when we were doing the budget per se, because last year Harvest Days paid for itself with Haunted Eve. But based on what Lisa said, there's a possibility that maybe we need to put something in there.
We can still move,
We can
within
always
marketing,
move.
we can move it around.
Right,
If
it's
in
within
there.
that category,
Yeah, 'cause I
yeah.
mean, we've got 5,000 for CBD events.
And that might not
you know.
happen.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Village Farmers Market, we had $1,000. I think the 500 we put up, considering what it sounds like the condition is for this season, might be too much. So if we can approve it as is and then just move it around.
absolutely, which is what
We've done every year.
in July, we're gonna have the final budget for this fiscal year. And at the back of your treasurer's report is how this year is so far compared to what our budget was. So there'll be some moving around of numbers a little bit still.
Sure.
But I just wanted to give you that so you could see kind of what I used to use as a basis for how I came up with numbers, so.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what we talked about last month. So,
So I need your approval to give this to the village.
do we have a motion to approve the 2018-2019 budget that Carol prepared?
Sure.
I have a motion by Parker. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Chaika. Should we do a roll call on this?
Parker,
Yeah.
Chaika,
Yes.
Humphries,
Yes.
Seidel,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yeah.
Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next under new business, we have reimbursement request from the DEA Director, Lisa Hall. You kind of touched on this.
Yeah, I kind of
in
touched
the
on this.
report.
Because my shoulder was messed up, I had to have somebody help me put the dirt in there because I could not dig it in, rake it in, whatever. I paid the guy $100 is what I paid him. I mean, I would have done it myself and would have done it for my rate of pay, but with my shoulder like it is, it's not a good idea for me to be out there digging and raking and shoveling. I mean, I did help him some,
It's also not on your list of tasks you're supposed to
So-
be doing.
not really, but I do what I need to
It still
do
saved
to.
us a lot of money. at the
Yeah,
end
I
of the day.
make them fine. Okay,
Yep,
I'll make a motion that we,
Be longer.
$100, you handle it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we,
got a motion
second.
by Parker, second by Humphries. Lisa, will you do a roll?
Yep. Parker,
yeah.
Humphries,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yeah.
Seidel,
Yes.
Brandt,
Yes.
Chaika.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Can you get it done in an hour?
No, it took about 4 hours, but there was 18 or 19
It's
bags
cool.
that went in that corner. There was bags that went in the planters and then behind the police station. So,
All right, next we have board member comments. And
Flowers look pretty.
Flowers are good.
Everything looks good. The banners, the
Good.
flowers, the pots. Looks good. Don't bring up the
Okay.
right.
Done?
We need a motion to
And
adjourn.
then it's make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion by Parker, second by
Hey, second.
Seidel. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.